Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Shavuot is in 2 weeks. And about Shavuot, you could speak from here to Shavuot. I want to, B'ezrat Hashem, in this session, to speak about something. Something that we mention every day in the davening about the Torah. In this, after you got an aliyah, the bracha after is Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Et Torato Torat Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu. We're saying this also, Baruch Elokeinu שהבדילנו מן הטועים ונתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. And about those two things, the תורת אמת and the חיי עולם. When we have to define what is emet and what is Torat emet. One of the side benefits of the Torah, meaning it's part of the essence of it, is the fact that the Torah is emes. Emes is the reality the way it is. This is emes, the reality the way it is. In the general world, one of the main projects, the thing that the philosophy in the beginning of the beginning, was actually the bigger name for all what we know today as science. The first philosophers were the Greeks, of course, and they try to understand the reality, understand the world, understand the reality that we are in. Later on, they find out that it's too complicated and it's very wide, and they divide it to different areas. But the beginning was philosophy. Philosophy meaning understanding with the human wisdom the reality around you. Until today, even though there are so many areas in science, but everybody who got a degree, it's called PhD. Do you know what's the P stand for? Philosophy. Meaning philosophy is bakashat ha-chokhmah, is the strive for wisdom. Okay? Now if you look at the science, you could find out that we have tremendous achievement in many, many areas. Actually, in all areas that we search. There is only one field that stayed primitive. And the scientists of today in this area asking the same questions that the first one asked, and this is philosophy. In philosophy, we learned during the 2,500 years how to ask the questions better, but we have no answers. No answers. In philosophy, you could find something very funny, that the number of the answers for the philosophical question, which is who we are, what the essence of the universe, what the essence of the human being, all these basic questions, the number of the answers is like the number of the people who ask the questions or deal with the issue. Everybody has their own theory, and sometimes even great philosophers change their minds from one side to the complete opposite during their lifetime. The bottom line is that today there is no answers for the basic questions of reality. Science deals with technical. And with the technical, okay, we learned. All these years we learned a lot about how how astronomy is, or not exactly. I mean, we're always learning more, but we have something, right? In physics and in everything. In philosophy, we are in the beginning. And those questions are the major questions. What is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of the universe? Who we are? About this, we have no question, no answers. And here comes the Torah. We have to understand that what we claim is something that significantly different than anything else. I hope, or I believe, or I assume that the Chashuv crowd that are here today heard about a book in the Jewish library, Jewish bookshelves, called Kuzari. Okay? The story of the Kuzari was the following, in outlines, in general. It was a non-Jew king that was very, very honest and very striving for truth. When he became a king, he thought that his responsibility to run his people according to the highest level of truth that he knows. So he tried, but something bothered him. A message came to him in the dream that repeated itself again and again, and it was bothering him very much. The message was like this: "Kavanatcha retzuya, aval ma'asecha einam retzuyin." Your ideas, your strive to do what's right is blessed, but practically you are not succeeded to do it in the right way. And he tried, but this message came again and again and again, so he decided to reopen all his values and try to deep his search for the truth. So he was smart, so he said, why do I have to invent the wheel? People before me thought about this, right? So he thought, who could answer his questions about what's right, what are the right set of morals? So he invited in the beginning he went to the philosophy. He said, philosophy deals with those questions. So he invited the philosopher and asked him, do you mind to represent the philosophy? Could you tell me what is the truth? The philosopher disappointed him with his answer. He told them, listen, forget about it. There is no such a thing. No such a thing like absolute truth. Do whatever you understand in the best that you could. He told them, listen, I just did it. And I still bother because I know that I live once and I could not play with this. I want to know that what I'm doing is true. He told them, sorry, philosophy could not help you with this. So he tried to think who else could claim at least that they have the truth. And he find out that religion speaks about truth with a big difference than philosophy. The philosophers use their mind and use everything that discovered and put them together and try to work according. What is the problem? The mind is developing and the thing that we know about the world is increasing, so you have to update it every day. Therefore, the philosopher told them, forget about it. You could not find an absolute truth. It's something dynamic. The religion claims something amazing. The religion, now all the religions in the world claim the same thing. We know the truth not because we are smart, because we got it from the creator of the universe, who gave us he gave us this information, and he knows what he has in his word. He created it, right? The problem that he faced now was that it was more than one religion. All of them claim the same thing, but each one of them sell different package. So the question is, what is the truth? Logically, either all of them are liars, or maybe one is saying the truth and the other copying, right? So he started his journey. And of course, because he never knew about the Jews, were not that significant number at the time where he was, he called the closest religion, the biggest religion at the time, the Christianity, and he asked two questions to the representative of the Christian theory, right? Do you know the truth? The answer is yes. Could you prove it to me that you know it? Because there are more people who claim the same thing. I want to be sure. So he told him, you do not understand what religion is. Religion is just belief. You could not prove. I could tell you, but you have to believe me. So he faced the same problem. Why to believe you more than to the other? Okay, he asked the Muslim again to tell him if he knows the truth. He told him, of course, I know the truth. Could you prove it? You have to believe. And the last one, but both of them, the Christians and the Muslims, told them, listen, it's serious. We could not prove it, but we're telling you it's serious. Why? Because it's based on the Tanakh, on the Bible. About this, you could not, come on, this you could not deny. Why you could not deny the Tanakh? Because the Tanakh was giving, the Ten Commandments, the Torah was giving by the creator of the universe, but they claim that in the Tanakh, it's referring to later on to their ideas, right? But they could not prove their ideas. But at the end, before he gave up completely, he said, both of them just send me back to the original, to the Bible. There are any people who follow the Bible? Then he got to the Jews. So, and he invited the Chacham, the Chaver, and here starts Sefer HaKuzari. He asked him the same two questions. Do you know the truth about the world? He told him, yes. Could you prove it to me? The answer was very surprising to him. He told him, yes, I could prove it to you. Really, do you know what proof is? Don't tell me to believe you. He told him, no, don't believe me. Check me out, I could prove it. And here's the book. The book is Sefer HaKuzari, all the answers that he gave him. Okay, what I want to take out of this. What is the problem? What is the problem to be sure that you have the truth? That will take us back to the first pasuk in the Torah. To understand what actually we mean when we say we want to verify what reality is. What is reality? So in the first pasuk in the Torah it mentioned what is the reality. What Hashem created when He created the universe, when He created the world. Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Hashem created the entire creation as a combination of two things. Shamayim va'aretz. I'm not sure that in this form I spoke about this before. I'm not sure, but maybe. If so, you'll forgive me that I'll force you to do Vishinantim. Okay, I'll repeat a few things, but I'm not sure that we spoke about this ever in the past. What is Shamayim va'aretz? This is the key, to understand what the real reality is. Shamayim va'aretz. What's Shamayim va'aretz? Let's start from the Shamayim. Everybody knows that there is no such a thing called Shamayim. Meaning the blue thing that you see today. Today is a beautiful day, rare in New York, no clouds. You could see the blue skies, right? But what is Shamayim? There is no such a thing. Take an airplane and fly up. You will never reach the Shamayim. Take a space shuttle. Go even higher, right? You could make a nice journey between the stars, but we'll never touch a thing. You'll never be able to touch this thing called Shamayim. But so what is this? This blue thing is that's an illusion of the space, right? But there is no such a thing, apparently. But in the Torah it's mentioned that Hashem created Shamayim. So what is Shamayim? Shamayim is the key to understand what is this is, first of all, the fact that the letters Yud and Mem in Hebrew at the end of the word always meaning plural, or take singular, make it a lot, right? Yad, yadayim, ozen, oznaim, regel, raglaim, etc. Right? Yud Mem at the end. Always double it or make it moving from singular to plural. According to that, what is Shamayim? We have Yud Mem at the end. So what is the base? The letters Shin and Mem. What is this? It's a word in Hebrew by itself. Sham. Sham. What is Sham? Sham is there. There. What is there? There is anything that's not here. Anything that's not here is there. Right. Now, what is the definition of here and there? Here is everything that you could understand, you could grasp, you could understand. Okay, I have to explain. How do you understand what you understand? Tangible, right? Tangible. Tangible, not just technically, physically, but even intellectually. Let me explain. Here. Okay, we want to understand what there. In order to understand what there, we have to understand what here. Here is everything that we could understand. Again, I'm sorry I use a lot of Hebrew words now. I'll try to translate them, but the wisdom in the language is amazing in order to understand the essence of the things. In order to understand things, you have to define it. Anything that you could not define, meaning that you do not understand. How do you say definition in Hebrew? Hagdara. Hagdara. 5 letters. Hey, Gimel, Dalet, Reish, and Hey. Hagdara. This is a definition. Okay? Now, if you take the first Hey and the last Hey from the Hagdara, you will get a word by itself, Gader. Gader is a fence, right? When I want to understand something intellectually, I have to give it a definition. Definition is make a fence around it. If the fence is accurate, everything that inside belong, everything that outside is out of it, is not belong, right? So, in order to understand things, you have to define it, to make a gader around it, to make a hagdara, right? Now, around what you could make a gader? Only about limited things that started from here and go until here. Then you could define it. According to this, anything that's not limited, you could not put a fence around it. If you could not put a fence around it, you could not be defining it, right? Therefore, you could not understand it. You could not understand it by per definition. You could not understand anything that's not defined or by... Okay. Now, when Hashem created the world, He created the entire universe from 2 basic elements. Shamayim va'aretz. Shamayim is all the things that are there, and they are there because they are not limited, therefore you could not define them, therefore it's there from you. There meaning it's away from you, right? Okay? Now, the letter Yud and Mem at the end make it not just there, but very there. Shamayim, very there. Okay. After we a little bit touch the Shamayim, let's go back to the earth. Eretz ze lo kadur haaretz. It's not planet Earth. What is Aretz according to this? Aretz is the physical dimension in the universe. Everything physical, not just planet Earth, everything physical. Why? Because the physical elements are limited by time and space. Therefore, you could define them. Therefore, you could understand them. Right? So, fine, but how come it's called in Hebrew, in Lashon HaKodesh, how come it's called Aretz? What is the meaning of the word Aretz? As we learned about Shemaim, the answer for this is the following. The main letters in the word Aretz are the letter Reish and Tzadik. Reish and Tzadik. Leave the Aleph aside now, okay? Reish and Tzadik, again, create a word in Hebrew, which is larutz, to run. To run. Be aware of the following, that those 2 letters are the beginning and the major letters of the word in Hebrew, ratzon. I want. I want. The more I want it, I have motivation to run and get it. So, haratzon is the, first of all, I realize that there is something that I really need, And the more I need it, I want to go out and get it. Right? So Aretz, says the Gemara, this is the Gemara, the Aretz, למה נקרא שמה ארץ? שרוצה לעשות רצון קונה. The Aretz wants to do what Hashem wants her to do. And this ratzon, this want, create or cause it to run. To run. Now, when I want something that I realize it's very important for me to get, I really want it, right? Be aware of the following. It must be that the thing that I want is not here with me. Because if it's here with me, I have it. I do not want it. If I want it, it's always outside of me. Where is it? There. There. Remember there? So, it's there, outside of me, and I want to get it. So I'm running to get it. And this is out of the relationship between the Aretz and the Shamayim. Haaretz רצה לכיוון השמיים. Haaretz run, Haaretz, the material, wants to strive to get something from there, from the Shamayim. Okay, it's not just playing with words, it's very, very deep. Let's go now deeper, okay? The physical is a raw material. Raw material strive, what? To get meaning, to be significant, right? Everything in the physical chomer in Hebrew, physical material, is a raw material, meaning it's a potential that you could make out of it there are many options how to actualize this. But there is a right one, a right actualization of the material. And actually, in a way, we're talking, those are words, we're speaking like we humanize the material, like the material has a wants. The material wants to get a significant meaning. And this significant meaning is in the Shamayim, is Sham. And it goes or wants to get it. Okay? Now, let's go back to Shavuot. In Shavuot, we got the Torah. Again, I'll go back to Hebrew. I'm sorry, this is it. This is the original, okay? 10 Commandments. How do you say that in Hebrew? Aseret hadibrot. Listen to what you say. Aseret hadibrot. Dibrot. In Hebrew, I'm not talking about the modern Hebrew. I'm talking about the Lashon HaKodesh. The difference is very, very simple. In Hebrew, like in many modern Hebrew, and in other language, there is something called milim nirdafot. I could say the same thing with different words. Same thing. Synonyms. Yeah, I could do that. Okay? In Lashon HaKodesh, there is no such a thing. Every word has a very specific meaning. Now, in modern Hebrew, I could say, Ani omer, or Ani medaber. Omer, medaber. I'm speaking, I'm telling, right? In the Lashon HaKodesh, there is a huge, major difference between Omer and Medaber. We find it in the Torah in many places, right? Vayomer Hashem, Vayidaber Hashem, right? What is the difference? In order to go to this, let's just mention a famous Mishnah in Maseches Avos. Ba'asara ma'amarot nivra ha'olam, right? What's ba'asara ma'amarot nivra ha'olam? In 10 times that Hashem said Vayomer, Hashem created the world. Hashem created the world in 6 days and in 10 ma'amarot. If you go in Sefer Bereshit, in the 6 days of creation, you'll see Vayomer Elokim yi'or vayi'or, Vayomer Elokim yirakia betoch hamayim, Vayomer Elokim yikavu hamayim mitachat hashamayim. 10 times. The Gemara says, I count, there are only 9. So why do you say 10? So the Gemara answer that Bereshis, Boro Elokim Tashamayim V'Taaretz, Bereshis also ma'amar. It's also considered a ma'amar, Bereshit. And again, we have to ask, so why it didn't say Vayomer? Vayomer Elokim, Yehi Shamayim V'Aaretz. Why Bereshit? Right? Now, there are 10 ma'amarot that Hashem created the world. There are 10 dibrot that Hashem gave us in Sinai. Okay? Now, let's go back to the first psukim in the Torah. You know them by heart, but let me just make some emphasis. Maybe it's extra, but I'm not sure. Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz, right? Okay? The next pasuk. You know what? Before we go to the the next pasuk, the first one. What is Hashem created? Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. Those are two things, shamayim v'aretz. Now the next pasuk. Out of those two, shamayim v'aretz, the second pasuk speaks only about one. V'ha'aretz hayta tohu vavohu. Right? Okay. So, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. Ha'aretz, out of the two, was tohu vavohu. My question to you is, when ha'aretz hayta tohu vavohu? When? Before or after? Many people got confused in this. After, for sure. Why? Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. First of all, in my Tanakh, pasuk bet comes after pasuk aleph. The second argument is Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. Pasuk bet described how was the aretz right when Hashem created it. Because if you think that it was before pasuk aleph, was no aretz altogether, not in tohu vavohu and not in other form. Was no aretz, right? So when Hashem created the shamayim va'aretz right after Hashem created it, immediately was in a state of tohu vavohu. What is tohu vavohu? Chaos. If you were Israelis, you would say balagan. Right? But what is it? Says the Ramban, what tohu vavohu? Tohu milashon tehiyah. Taf hey hey, the root. Taho, to wonder. If somebody were there to look at the aretz, try to understand what is this, he will be confused. This is lithot. Lithot is to wonder. I don't understand. I try to understand, I can't. So this is toh. Vavohu, says the Ramban, are two words. Bo-hu. In it, there is the solution of it. Meaning, everything is there but mixed. In the 6th day of the creation, Hashem just made order in the same thing. He didn't create new things. He just made the order and everything fall in its place. Then everything is clear. Okay. Fine. So we learned 2 psukim now. Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'haaretz hayta tohu vavohu. Okay. Now, how Hashem made the order in the tohu vavohu? By the ma'amarot. Vayomer. Vayomer, vayhi, vayomer, vayhi, ki hu amar vayehi. He said and it amar, right? Okay. So, it was a shamayim. It was an aretz in a state of tohu vavohu, chaos, and Hashem made an order. Now, what about the shamayim? The shamayim has no tohu vavohu. Everything was clear there, but it wasn't the shamayim. The tachlis, the purpose of the creation is to connect the shamayim and the aretz. If you just will add it to the things that we discussed before. The aretz is a material, a raw material. The raw material doesn't have any purpose by itself. The purpose of it is not in it, is outside of it. And to connect it, this is the purpose. The purpose of the creation is to connect the aretz with the shamayim. Who's going to do this? The human beings. At the end of the sixth day, Hashem says, ויאמר אלוקים נעשה אדם בצלמנו כדמותנו וירדו בדגת הים ובעוף השמיים. So the purpose of the creation was, Hashem says, I created the thing, now I want to create a manager that will be my partner to make the connection between the Shamayim and the Aretz. And this is the purpose of creating the human being, to connect the Shamayim and the Aretz. Okay, now how could we connect the Shamayim and the Aretz? This is the major problem that I spoke about before. What is the purpose of everything? Those are the open or non-solved questions of philosophy. What is the tachlis? How do we know to connect the physical to the Shamayim? And the answer is, we do not know. We do not know. The only way to know is to get instructions from the Creator himself. And that happened in Ma'amad Har Sinai. In Ma'amad Har Sinai, Hashem added to the 10 Amirot, the 10 Asara Ma'amarot, Hashem added the Aseret HaDibrot. Now, let's try to again understand the deep meaning of this. What is the difference between lomar to ledaber? For those of you who understand Hebrew, I could say, Ani omer lecha, Ani omer lach. I could not say, Ani medaber lecha, Ani medaber lach. I could say, Ani medaber itcha, Ani medaber itach. I could not say, Ani omer itach, or Ani omer itcha. What is the difference? The difference is the following. Omer is one way, from me to you. I'm telling you, Ani omer lecha. When medaber is a dialogue, exactly. Ani medaber itcha, meaning when כשאני מדבר, I'm expecting, first of all, I could medaber to intelligent creature, and I expect a response. You could not agree with me, that's also a response, it's okay, but it's a response. When כשאני אומר, I'm not looking for a response. I'm not talking to an intelligent creature. I'm just telling, right? And this is the difference between Amira and Dibur. Amira is one way from the teller to those who got it. Dibur is a dialogue, right? Therefore, when Hashem created the Aretz was Amira. I'm telling you, do this, do this, do this. Aseret HaDibrot could be given only to intelligent creature who could understand and cooperate and respond. Okay? So, Aseret HaDibrot actually are the meaning of the things. Creating the means, the technical thing, making order in the Aretz was the Amira. And even in that, even to say, you could say only when you have something to say to. Therefore, the first one is not Vayomer, because there is nothing. So there is nobody to talk to. Therefore, the first one was Bereshit, the beginning, right? Later on, now there is a creation. It's not in order. Let's put the order. That was the Amirot of the 10 Ma'amarot. The Dibur is only to intelligent creatures, and therefore they came. Now, where is the Dibur? There is a pasuk in Tehillim, you probably know this. Le'olam Hashem dvarecha nitzav b'shamayim. So Hadibur is in the Shamayim. It's not in the Aretz. Ha'amira ba'asara ma'amarot ha'aretz, right? But a Dibur is there in the Shamayim. And the Dibur was in the Shamayim for a long time. Since the creation until the time of Ma'amad Har Sinai was 2,448 years. And all this time was Aretz in order, no connection to the Shamayim. The connection with the Shamayim came in Ma'amad Har Sinai. And obviously the question is why? Why Hashem didn't make the connection the first day? I mean, after he finished making order in the Aretz, then should become the Dibrot. By the way, the word Dibur, the word Dibur, ledaber, is the deep meaning of it. Dibur is leadership. Where I'm taking this from, right? Ledaber is leadership, to lead. When Moshe Rabbeinu, at the end of the 40 years, at the end of Sefer Bamidbar, Hashem told him, you're not going to go cross the Jordan River. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, so who's going to do it? So Hashem told him, Yoshua will do it. Right at the end of Sefer Bamidbar. At the end of Sefer Dvarim, right when, before Moshe Rabbeinu passed away, he called Yoshua. And he told him, listen, Hashem says that you're going to be the next leader of the Jewish people. You have to know it's not an easy job. If you remember, when Moshe Rabbeinu got appointed the first time, he refused. He tried to run away from the mission, right? Shlach nabiyat tishlach, there are better people than me, I'm not speaking well, many excuses. And Hashem told him, listen, I will fix all your problems, you will be the leader. Moshe Rabbeinu knew what he's talking about, because, you know, if you really want, the fact is, if you really, now we know it, Moshe Rabbeinu knew it there. If you really want to punish yourself severely, be a leader of Jews. Each one of them has their own mind. It will be a lot of problems, and we knew it. After Hashem was helping him to take the Jews out of Mitzrayim, they made so much problems during the time in the desert. At the end of the 40 years, Moshe Rabbeinu came to Yoshua ben Nun, his disciple, and told them, listen, let me give you good advice. You're gonna be now in my place. Let me give you one lesson in politics. Don't try to force yourself on them. Give them a feeling that they are with you to make the decision. How it's written in the Torah in Sof Parashat Sefer Bamidbar, it's mentioned, Moshe Rabbeinu speaking to Yoshua, and he says, Chazak ve'ematz ki ata tavo et ha'am hazeh el ha'aretz. And it's mentioned, it's written over there, tavo, tav bet, vav aleph. And it's not correct in Hebrew. You should say ki ata tavi, but it's mentioned with the vav, right? So the Medrash says that Moshe Rabbeinu told him, Yoshua, listen, don't play leader from the first day. Give them a feeling that there you're advising with them, tavo itam, come with them. Few psukim later, Hashem speaks to Yoshua, and he says, Chazak ve'ematz, ki ata tavi et ha'am hazeh. Tavi. So Hashem says, and Rashi bring it on the spot. The Gemara bring it. It's a Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin, and Rashi bring it on the spot. He said that Hashem says to Yoshua, don't listen to Moshe in this. Tavi et ha'am. You're gonna be the leader from day one. You have to do it. And how? What are the language over there? What are the words? He told him the following: Ki ata tavi et ha'am. Dabar echad lador ve'en shnei dabarim lador. Dabar meaning one leader, you cannot do a collective leadership. Dabar echad lador. So from here we learn that the word dalet, the letters dalet bet resh mean leading. And as you know, all the languages came out from Lashon HaKodesh. Vayikol haaretz safa achat udvarim achadim, and all the languages in Bavel came from the same language, right? How do you say the leader of the Congress here in America?
The speaker.
The speaker. Why speaker? Interesting, right? Speaker. So, with words, you could lead. You could lead. You take people that have their own mind. If you convince them in your words, you could take them to the right direction. So, it's a lot of power in the dibur, right? So, dibur is leading. Ma'amar is just technical order. Dibur is where all these things goes. What is the direction? Therefore, Aseret HaDibrot is a completion of the Aseret HaMa'amarot. Right? Okay. The question is, why Aseret HaDibrot waited so long? Almost 100 years. That's a lot of time. The answer is Chet Adam HaRishon. Hashem spoke to Adam HaRishon at the 6th day of the creation, when he created him, right? And he told him, Mikol etz hagan achol tochel, me'etz hadat tov hara al tochel, and he didn't listen to him. So when he didn't listen to him, he refused to take the words of Hashem as an authority, right? Therefore, he has to be chased out of Gan Eden, and a lot of things happened. And the only time in the history that any one of the descendants of Adam HaRishon wants to bring things back to its place was Avraham Avinu, 20 generations after, right? He went all over the place and said, Hashem hu Elokim, Ribono shel Olam, vayikra sham b'shem Hashem kel Olam. And Hashem promised him, I will make a great nation out of you, ve'escha legoy gadol. But, ידוע תדע כי גר יהיה זרעך בארץ לא להם ועבדום ועינו אותם ואחרי כן יצאו ברכוש גדול. So it has to be waited until the Jewish nation will be formed out of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, go through the entire Shibud Mitzrayim, come out of Mitzrayim, and then the world is ready to get the dibrot. To get the dibrot. So when we were ready, then Moshe Rabbeinu brought the dvarim that was in the Shamayim, Le'olam Hashem dvarcha nitzav b'Shamayim, and he was the one that connected it to the Aretz. By the way, when Moshe Rabbeinu at the Sneh got the mission to take the Jews out of Mitzrayim, he refused, as we said, right? Among the other things, what he said, Vayomer Moshe lo ish dvarim anochi. I could not speak. Again, there were same word dvarim, lo ish dvarim anochi. But later on, he wrote the Torah, and one of the Chumashim in the Torah is Sefer Devarim. And it's mentioned in the beginning, Ele hadvarim asher diber Moshe. The same person who said, Lo ish dvarim become ish dvarim. What happened? Because the Dibur leading was in exile. That it's mentioned in Sifra, in the Dib Sforim, that the Dibur from the creation, from Brias Ha'olam, the Dibur was in exile. When Hashem took the Jews out, where it was in exile, where? In Mitzrayim. What is Mitzrayim? Mitzrayim is the concealment. Meitzar is a fence. Mitzrayim is a fence from all over. So the Dibur, meaning the leadership, the leading, the purpose, was in exile, meaning Mitzrayim was a Tuma. Tuma is concealment, Atima. Tome, just change the letter, you will get the word Atam, Atima. Atima is a concealment. This is Tuma. Tuma is a separation between the thing and the purpose of it. Why? Because the purpose in Mitzrayim was material, per se, not material connected to spiritual, right? So in order to take the Dibur from the exile, Hashem used 10 plagues to break the concealment of Tumat Mitzrayim in order to be able to connect the Aseret Dibros to the Aseret HaMa'amoros. Right? We have 3 sets of 10. Aseret HaMa'amarot, Aseret HaMakot, and Aseret HaDibrot. And Moshe Rabbeinu was the one who was born in Mitzrayim, and he was the one who was in the beginning Lo Ish Dvorim, but he went up to Shamayim and get us Aseret Hadibros. And then we have this connection, right? This connection called Emes. Why? And Chaye Oilom. Let's explain. When Hashem created Adam originally, he created him in order to live, not in order to die. ויצר השם אלוקים את האדם עפר מן האדמה, ויפח באפיו נשמת חיים. So when the neshama, nishmas chaim, was inside Adam originally, it was supposed to be there forever, that it will exist forever. Only because he sinned, Hashem told him, "Biyom acholcha mimeno mot tamut," meaning, if you will eat, if you will not listen to me, you will become mortal. כי ביום אכולך ממנו מות תמות, says the Ramban, ביום שתאכל תהיה בר מוות. You will become mortal. Meaning, Adam Rishon bring on himself mortality. Right? Why? Because he ate from what? Etz Hadat Tovara. What's the other name of Etz Hadat Tovara? There were two trees in Gan Eden, right? Etz HaChaim ve'etz HaMavet. Etz Hadat Tovara is Etz HaMavet. Hashem told him, if you will mix Tov and Ra together, it will be Mavet, right? So, but was another tree over there. Etz HaChaim. What is Etz HaChaim? Etz Chaim milamachazikim ba v'tomchei ha'meushar, the Torah. And Adam Rishon denied Etz HaChaim, the Torah, and chose Etz HaMavet. He brought Mavet to the world. When we got the Torah, in Ma'amad Sinai, we got the Etz HaChaim. And this is v'chaye oilam nota b'tochenu. Meaning only with the Torah, you could connect the physical in the right way to the spiritual in a way that it will exist forever after Tchias HaMeisim. And we got this. I mean, we got access to the Etz HaChaim after Adam and all his descendants was chased out of Gan Eden. Right? Now, why it's called Emes? Torah's Emes. Again, Hebrew. Here I'll use the Emes. Emes. The Gemara in Masechet Shabbos says the following, that the definition of Emes is, I'll get to the Gemara, just a second. What the definition of Emes is, as I said in the beginning, realizing the real reality. This is Emes. In Hebrew, if you take those letters and just read them like this, first the Taf, and then the Aleph, and then the Mem, you will get another word, Ta'am. Ta'am, it's mat'im, it's fit, it's good. When I think about something, let's say I see a table, and I'll ask myself, what is this? I look at it from all angles, touch it, okay, and decided this is the table. Okay, this is true. Why? Because there is matching between the thing and what I think about the thing. Right? So when you have hat'ama matching, that's called emes. What if I see a table, I look at it, try to search it, and then I decided this is a pickle. And I mean a pickle. Not that in Indonesia they call table pickle. Pickle, real pickle. If you put it, you know, it's very soury, it's pickle. There is no matching between the thing and what I think about the thing. This is sheker. This is lie. Meaning, the definition of emes is ta'am, hat'ama, matching between the thing and how do you get it, understand it, right? Be aware of another thing. If there is no matching, where is the problem? Always, not by the thing, but by the person who think wrong about the thing. Meaning the truth is the thing itself. If it will be a mistake, it's always by me. That I didn't get it the right way, right? So this is emes. Emes is to look at the reality and really understand it. How do we know? How could we be sure that we know the real thing? You could not do it yourself. Only if you got the information from the Creator itself. And Hashem gave us a set of values, which is the 10 Commandments, meaning the entire Torah are in the 10 Commandments, the 613 in big picture. This is the meaning, this is the purpose, those are the real values of how to deal with the physical. When you have this connection, you have the truth. You have emes. The opposite of emes is sheker. The Gemara says about the sheker the following thing. Emes, I don't know if you know this Hebrew this verse in Hebrew, this phrase. Emet, yeah. La sheker en raglayim. There's no legs, right? Because here it's on one point, here. But emes is very solid. There are base for each one of the letters. More than that, Aleph, Mem, and Taf are the first, the last, and exactly the middle. It's the complete picture. Sheker are Kuf, Rei, Shin are very close together. So the Gemara says that La Sheker en Raglayim and the life of the Sheker are very short. Is very short because you could not lie for a long time. Only when it's close you could. But emes is from the beginning to the end, right? So when we says Baruch Elokeinu shebaranu lichvodo v'ivdilanu min hatoim, hatoim is with taf. It's also with tet, but it's written with taf. Hatoim are wanderers, people who are looking and just stay looking, never get anything, always looking, wandering. This is philosophy. Hatoim, and there, of course, they made a mistake because meanwhile, until they will find, they will never find. But until they will find, they have to live some way. And because they are not living in the right way, they are toim, they are wrong, right? So we got the absolute truth. The absolute truth is the right connection between the Aretz and the Shamayim. I know that you have an amazing lecture right after me. I will take another 1 minute Birshuta just to show the following. It's very important. Shamayim v'aretz, as I said in the beginning, are the two elements that the combination of them is the entire universe, right? Now we have to know, the Aretz is there. Scientists all over try to reveal the truth behind how it works. In English, I find it is amazing. Here, one good point of the English. Scientists discover the truth. There is a lot of discoveries, right? What is discovery? Discovery are actually two words. Discover, meaning it was there always, we didn't know about it because something was covering it. Discover is to discover, to take the cover off, right? But it was there always. Until today, never born the scientists who invented a law of nature. Nobody inventing laws of nature. They are there. We do not know about them. And then we learn and we discover it, discover, another discover. So we have a discovery of something. Same way exactly about the spiritual dimension of the universe. There is no point to invent law of moral. It's there. Either you know it or you do not know it. In the physical, because it's limited by time and space, you could discover in the laboratory, right? But there is no laboratory to reveal the spiritual laws of nature. The only way to get it is in when the Creator himself revealed himself and tell you what are the values. And that's actually what we're celebrating in Chag HaShavuos. We got the absolute truth from the Creator himself.